some MMA stuff, and I want to tell you about that. I'm expanding my coverage with MMA in a second. That I'm going to be covering one, two, three, four, five different leagues, and it's going to be like I'll get into it more in a second, but um, it'd be more like the title fights, co-main events, that stuff, kind of like what I do with the UFC. But it's gonna be exciting. A lot of times I'll try to, if I go live, I'll try to combine a couple of them together. So, but yeah. So I have a feeling that MMA is going to uh, look different soon because there's a lot more organizations coming out, which I think is great for the sport. So, but I'll get into that more in a second. Um, but let me tell you about some things that are going to be coming out really, really soon that I am super excited about. So July 2nd is a fake Christian series, which will be a Christmas series. So not all Christians are fake, but I do think there are some out there that are fake, and I will go over that in that series. Yes, I will offend some people, but I will tell the truth. Um, July 30th is Ocean Alien series. So there's definitely a lot of conspiracy theories that if aliens did hide, they would hide under the ocean. It would make sense too. Like for example, you have the um, recently, I think must be the last 5 years. You have the crocodile theory that they look like crocodiles, but they have arms and legs and stuff, which is a good theory, which would make sense that they could live under the ocean because if you think about crocodiles, alligators, they can live in both spaces, on land and in the ocean. So it's definitely something that is not impossible if aliens did exist that they could live under the ocean but still come up on land. If that makes any sense. Um, let's see, July. Yes, June, July 30th. I hope I said the date right. July 30th, Ocean Alien series. September 1st is my Labor Day series. Demo- Democrats will come back stronger series, which I think they will. Um, you just have to have the right candidate to run, but we'll get through the midterms. As long as the Republicans don't cheat, I think they're going to smash them. So I think they definitely will come back stronger. So that is a series that I'm definitely looking for. October 5th is Kristen Pass's favorite woman in a divorce series, and there's definitely a lot of truth to that. And I will get you uh, Kim Ria. Hi, how you doing? So a lot of that because I even heard from different people that we have to remember in a Christian church there's usually more women attending a Christian church than a guy. So that's a lot of reasons why there would be favorite in a divorce, and they're gonna get that treatment. So so hear me out. Um, have I been a singer famous singer that died? No. Oliver Tree. I have no clue who that is. But so hear me out. Like women generate more money in a church because there's more of them. So that's why they would be. So if the guy is not at fault, they're gonna favor the woman, and that's the scenario I'm gonna go with. But I'll get into that more at another time. Uh, October 6th, definitely one of the biggest series of the year, is Mega Sucks series. I will tell you why Mega Sucks. It's kind of easy to figure out with tariffs, racism, that kind of stuff. Why Mega sucks, but I will go into more of a detail in that series. But October 6th, Mega Sucks series coming out. So November 5th, which is going to be a Thanksgiving series. Uh, he's in a better place now. I'm glad he's in a better place. Um, is Christian churches or a business series. So I think there's a lot to that, that they definitely are a business, and I will get more into that in that series. But so I got this beautiful hat that I will be wearing for the end of the year Christmas series. For it's a Euro Revival series, but it's called Jesus the Cult Leader series, and that comes out December 4th. And so a lot of people say that with Jesus, that he either had to be crazy or it's true. So I'm going to go with the fact that in this series, I'm going to go into what it would like if he was crazy, that he just started a cult and just expanded over the years, that kind of stuff. So that's December 4th. These are the Cult Leader series, and so I got some stuff coming out for next year. I don't have release dates yet, but I think the great series that are coming out. January is AI Takeover series, so we'll look into how AI could take over the world, which I think is a good possibility. Like taking over our jobs, where we create something that could be like a Terminator thing that gets like I'm trying to think of it. Was there's a thing that is said in one of the Terminators, but basically they got a conscience, and that they're like, oh, okay, that's we can't let humans control us, kind of thing. If that makes any sense. So I will go into that more. February is famous people in Black History Month. Gotta support the Black History people. They're definitely getting crapped on with the MAGA people. So I will do a series about that. Famous people in Black History Month. I'm not 100% sure all the famous people I will do, but definitely looking forward to it. Uh, March is why a woman should be president series. I'll get into why a woman should be president. So I'm definitely going to do some research on this. Number one, I think it's just time for a woman to be president. All the guys are sucking butt. Like nobody's doing anything right. So I think, in my personal opinion, people are going to hate me, but a lot of times women are smarter than guys. Just saying. I think that is true, but I'll get into that. I'll go around talking to different lady friends of mine, family people that are ladies that will give a good perspective. So I'm not just blurting out crappy information. So in January, um, I'm going to do something called Random Thoughts of the Week. So with my Little Christian videos, my Psalms are running out soon, sometime in the beginning of the year. So I want to have something that fills that gap. And I think Random Thoughts of the Week would be great because I have these random thoughts that are crazy sometimes, and that I'm going to share. So it's probably going to be called Random Thoughts of the Week. So I'm excited about that. But if you haven't done so, follow Jersey Rob on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. Hit the alarm button right now and subscribe. Like and share, please. Definitely hit that alarm button right now and subscribe. Hashtag Jersey Rob on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and on YouTube. So I want to talk about the different organizations, and in the near future, I'm going to cover like 5 different ones, but I can't do every single fight because it's just too much. I work for a living, and yeah, I can't keep track of it that way. But I think MMA is slowly, I think it's going to turn into something different, which would be more organizations. You know, it's like the company Amazon, right? At one time, if you look 10 years ago, right, it looked like UPS was the main guy on the block. But then Amazon got big, and Amazon started off with a bookstore, right? and I just not a bookstore, but a garage, and they just blew up afterwards. But nobody would see that coming. If you if you went back 10 years ago, like, oh yeah, UPS is going to be the biggest thing forever. No, but what happened is they took chances, it developed, and it grew. So I think that could possibly happen with the UFC. So I'm going to try to go into weaknesses and strength of the organizations, and in my opinion, from the outside looking in, how they can grow. Um, Let me first cover PFL. So this is what I'm hearing about the PFL, that they don't like the ESPN deal they're on right now, so they want to get out of that deal and go to another TV TV stream or whatnot. And one of the reasons why I don't like it, they feel like the ESPN isn't hyping them up enough and giving them enough coverage, or just enough like recognition that they could grow. So they want to like kind of like restructure how they look. So PFL, I'm going to start covering in January, just because I want to. They've been around out a while. I believe they're second behind the UFC. So I just want to start getting to know their fighters and whatnot. So, um, excuse me. And since they're restructuring and looking different as an organization, I kind of like want to start covering more than in January when I get a new TV deal. So that's why I'm going to that direction with that. So I think with them, they have a lot of potential. They just need to get restructured and have a better look, marketing wise, I guess you could say. I tell you what, their app is pretty cool because you can, if you go to the live setting part, their app is free. So as long as you get the email and whatnot, and then they do fights 24 hours a day. So they can check out their old fights and whatnot. It's actually really cool. I got the app and I'm really enjoying it. So GFL, they actually, the strength of them is they actually want to pay fighters and give them part of like pay per view money, or money like they make off of TV or whatnot. They actually want to take care of the fighters, and and they're also taking care of the fans. Like, hey, you can invest in stocks and stuff. So it's definitely a different kind of look. But the only thing I do see about them that they need to work on. Um, so what happened last year? They were about to start, and then one of their are the backers, marketers, or whatnot, they kind of backed out, so they had to push it back more. So now it's October 17th, I believe, in Vegas. So which will they start? But the only weakness I think of them right now is they got a lot of older fighters. They're like 40, 40 years old. So they need to do something with that. That not everyone is 45 years old. So I'm hoping that maybe because they pay more, they'll be able to attract some younger fighters, because you need that. You don't want a bunch of old heads. Uh, yeah, it just doesn't work. Eventually, your organization like you have this, for example, like Chris Minor versus Luke Rockhold. That fight should have happened like 20 years ago, not right now. That kind of stuff. So you definitely want to have a talent scout looking for young fighters. I think the concept is there's going to be teams. Every time somebody fights, they get points, and whoever wins out of that team with a different amount of, I think it's like 4 people to a team. Don't quote me on that. I think 4 or 5 people to a team, and whoever has more points advances, I believe. So I'm still learning. So I could be giving accurate information, but I know it's more like a team sport. So which is going to be different. So so I'm very open to that because it is different. Um, then you have Scott. Hopefully I say his name right. Cocker, or Scott Coker. Um, but he used to be owner of Bellator. I think he had a little share in PFL. But I just recently heard an interview with him, and the guy's really smart. And he's smart enough to to have a good mix of older fighters but young fighters, but he'll actually have scouts looking for the young talent, going to different shows to be able to get the right young people in there, because you can't grow an organization with a bunch of old heads. It's just not going to work. So they definitely need to find a good live streaming service, um, and get hyped up right away. But he does have experience. He was in Bellator, so he wants to create something big. So it just sounded like it. It sounded exciting when I listened to him on MMA Hour. So I'm actually very hopeful for that organization. So then you have MVP. They did have good numbers with. I actually believe they had bigger numbers than the White House card with the UFC. And the funny thing is that UFC Fight Night, they smashed them that night. Like it wasn't even close. So apparently, I believe they had more viewers than UFC White House card, which was stupid. They put it on a Sunday. So let me go into the UFC right now. Weaknesses and strengths. One of the strengths they do, they're good at promoting fighters, fighting young talent. Like they got Contender Series, Ultimate Fighter. The bad thing they've recently done is they got too political, um, which will hurt if once liberal people want to watch them. So like, okay, you just totally favor Donald Trump. He just had a White House card on his birthday. So maybe you could justify it more if you're like, if it was closer in July 4th than excuse me, June 14th, which was exactly on his birthday. So that's going to put a dent in the UFC. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Um, Another thing they've been bad about over the years, in my personal opinion, they don't always go by the ranking system. So, so let's say a top five fighters, and then sometimes maybe a top 10 fighter could get a title shot, or top 12 fighter get a title shot, just because they have a famous name or whatnot. So the ranking system isn't always fair. There's favoritism in that, and people see that. Um, they don't always go by, okay, these are the top five guys. This should get the next title shot. There's a lot of favoritism in who can bring in the people. So I think they made a mistake with that at times. So that is a weakness of the UFC, I think, which will, I think, eventually catch up with them. I think it is going to catch up with them. Um, yeah, so it's exciting. We're going to have more contenders out there, so I'm going to cover more of them. Like I said, PFL I'm going to start covering in January because I want to learn the fighters and whatnot, and the rankings, and they're going to restructure themselves anyway. So I figure I just wait till January to cover that. But I will cover fights with that. Like I said, like mainly co-main events and main events. With GFL, I probably can get away with more because I'm gonna be more familiar with them because it's gonna be a lot of former UFC guys. I'm hoping um, they get younger talent, so because that would help them succeed more. So that's gonna be interesting. Like I said, November. I mean, sorry, October 17th. I believe the date is in Vegas. It's gonna be like a stadium with like 1,100 people, but that's how they're gonna start. But you gotta start somewhere. So there's going to be a lot of negativity towards the GFL, um, because they're going to start in a lower venue. But I'm going to tell you, listen to me on this one. UFC almost failed. They were like, I think it was, I might even tell the wrong number, but I know they released 30 million in a hole, but it was even more than that. And Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin, they happened to beat the crap out of each other live on Spike TV, and it generated views, some money, and kind of like saved them. So they almost failed under Dana White, and people forget that. Um, and everyone gives all the credit to Dana White, as successful MMA is. But if it wasn't for the first 29 UFCs, and this is the concept of mixed martial arts, somebody else wouldn't have taken over and wouldn't have gotten big. If that makes any sense. Maybe it was brutal looking with the tournaments, less rules, that kind of stuff. So, and then Dana White did do a good job making his sport 5 rounds, but it just starts from somewhere. Like he's not the only reason why that is so big, because you have to look at the history of the whole thing, if that makes any sense. Like Hoist Gracie beating the bigger guys and that kind of stuff, and then people slowly learning different styles and then combining them to um, have a better fight and whatnot. So, um, yeah. So, did I do MVP? Yeah, I did MVP. So their weaknesses, they got a bunch of old heads in there. So they needed to get some younger people in there too. So anyway, that's all I got today, and I'll be covering all 5 of them slowly but surely. PFL next year because I want to learn about the fighters and they're restructuring themselves anyway. Like I said, GFL in October I'm going to start covering, but I'll give you some more updates with that when I learn some of the matchups that are coming out. Scott Cooker won. He has still has to put information out to the public of what he's going to do. Um, so fighters picking up, so that hasn't been out yet, but he's supposed to start one, and then MVP. So oh, so I got to give MVP a little credit with one thing. So you have the UFC countdown, and they did something similar to that with Gina Corona and Ronda Rousey. They kind of got into their personal lives, their training. So he did do a good job. Sometimes you have to copy to succeed to get to the next level, and they did do that. So it's going to be interesting and how all this unfolds. But there's going to be more MMA coverage. So anyway, that's all I wanted to come up here and say tonight. So if you haven't done so, follow Jersey Rob Ryan on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. Hit the alarm button on YouTube. Like and share videos. Hashtag Jersey Rob Ryan on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and on YouTube. And Jersey Rob Ryan spiritual, controversial, entertaining, and fun. Thank you guys for watching. And hit that alarm button right now. Subscribe. Appreciate you guys.